Welcome to the first ever episode, the official first episode of Creating Things Together. I'm Christina.
I'm James.
And we're married. It sounded so sad. But yeah, so the podcast. Hi.
Hi. Today's been a long day, Christina.
Today has been a very long day. We're both extremely exhausted from creating things together.
We're not exactly hitting the ground running on this podcast.
Yeah,
it's like
but
we're hitting the ground crawling with blood coming out of our limbs.
I think we will get the energy halfway through.
I think so.
At least 75% of the way through.
I think so.
A little bit of background behind what the heck James and I have been doing. We've just been working, and I love this level of work. What I don't love is how stressed I've been, and I think that's all my fault. Thank you for your help, by the way.
You're welcome.
So we just posted.
I tried my best to be a good partner.
You did pretty okay.
Thank you. I think I did like a B+.
Yeah. We just posted a video on our main YouTube channel, and I wanted to announce on the podcast that we have a giveaway happening right now as of February 22nd. It's going on until March 5th.
That's what, yes.
I think.
Yes,
is it March 5th? Okay.
That's it.
So
I'm fairly positive.
We've got a 2-week giveaway. We're giving away a bundle of smart light bulbs. You'll see if you're watching the video version of this that we have colorful lights. And the video that we posted, I was super stoked on making it. That's what's been taking
That's been all day, yeah.
That's been all day and yesterday. I did some work in After Effects. I'll go into more depth on that at some point in time. Not today. But if you are interested in entering the giveaway, the links are in the show notes, my fam.
Yes. And one of the things that made today a bit off balance, I would say, for me was the way we started the day. I'm a creature of routine. Routines keep me sane.
Which is absolutely hilarious because when I first met James, he was a wild animal.
Yes, I think that when it came to actually doing productive stuff, I needed to have a routine, and any drama that I felt was around me not having a good routine. Does that make sense?
Sure.
But
I feel like the only routine
not being married beforehand, living in my parents' house, there wasn't a lot of friction keeping me away from kind of doing whatever I wanted all day.
And I am what's the thing? Like I hold you down. I'm the oppressor. It's like the
Stalin. You're the
Joseph Stalin.
Yes, in my life. I love you so much.
No problem.
Thank you, Joseph, for being with me.
No problem.
It's today and forever.
No problem, Bob.
I'm glad I married Joseph Stalin.
Hey.
Sponsor.
What? Sponsored by Soviet?
Do you want communism?
Where was Italy? He was
Joseph Stalin?
Yeah. Stalin was in Italy.
He was in Russia.
No, he wasn't. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Mussolini.
You're talking about Mussolini?
Yeah, dang it. They're all
You
communist.
made me doubt myself for a second.
Yeah,
I was like, I watched a documentary about him.
Well, I watched it. Anyway, giveaway links in the description and or show notes. And also...
what I was going to say. I'm
what
sorry.
were you going to say, James?
Thank you for being aware.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say that we went to our financial advisor this morning. That was a meeting that was like a 20-minute drive, and then so we went there, then we came back, and on the way back we stopped at a coffee shop, and then we were working that whole time. From then on we were working towards getting this giveaway video done so that we could share it, right? Yes. And I had other things on my list, and everything just felt kind of like off balance and like offset. And unless you are offset,
then
good, like Cardi B's I
don't know anything about
Nobody
offset
knows.
Except for that one phrase in the song that I can't say.
Oh yeah. Basically anything in a Cardi B song you can't say on this podcast. Because this is for children and puppies too. So
yeah, speaking of puppies,
even though you do occasionally curse on here,
I say hell.
Yeah.
Because it's a noun.
Oh my hell. It's like the whitest.
I don't say that. That's like Utah Mormon trademark. It's on their flag. Oh my hell.
Okay. Our topic. Anyway.
Okay. First of all, what we're not going to do is yell. Okay. wait, one more thing.
Okay.
Gosh, this is just
We have a
chaos.
topic.
We do have a topic. We're going to talk about dropping out of freaking college. But my thing was one other house rule.
Okay.
Our neighbor upstairs is, I can't say cow because that's offensive. She's a horse.
No, she's a horse, yes.
She's got some really heavy feet.
A cow would imply that she's like a heavy set
kid. Well, I actually don't know. I haven't seen her.
We think it's the kid.
Why did you whisper?
The kid likes to stomp around as if she has horse feet. She's like a little Mr. Tumnus. And it drives us to the edge of insanity on a daily basis.
But we're not going to be those people yet that complain. James has, this is like deep dive on our personal life, but James will often film the roof so we can document. So we have like a case file when we're like, hey,
I have a folder full of videos of the horse stomps.
Yes.
Just in case we need to go to the front desk.
Yeah.
We're prepared.
To drop the hammer.
And we've had a lot of conversations with these people above us. We actually have their number.
Yeah.
We've had conversations and it's just been a little bit frustrating.
It started high and it has ended where we are right now.
That's the only downfall of this apartment has been dealing with our neighbors both above and below us. That's
paper thin walls.
Very, very. It's like they built this. They
spent all the money on like
apartment complex. Right. They spent all the money insulating it because it stays really warm in the winter. Fantastic. But then they built the walls out of like popsicle sticks. So,
popsicle.
I want to ride my popsicle.
Nope.
That
went downhill.
That really, I didn't think about that one. Normally I think about those things before they come out.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Anyway, so dropping out of college. Riding popsicles. Our parents listen to this.
So we want to talk about
school.
What we think about school today.
Yeah.
After, 7 minutes and we made it to the topic.
This is what podcasts are. Just a bunch of rambles.
We want to talk about what about school we enjoy.
What did you enjoy in school?
Well, that's going to be the shorter part of the podcast, you see. And what about school we did not enjoy, or we don't enjoy about school as the concept itself, like what school is. Mm-hmm. So first off, Christina, I want to hear about your story in college because that is sort of the premise we're beginning with here, and then we're going to move away from that experience and what you learned there into what we feel about college overall and what's the best practices for being a good creator, or if you're a doctor, should you go to college?
Yes.
You kind of have to, but should you?
So
are you going to be a rebel?
Initial thoughts. I went to college for a semester and a half.
Nature medicine.
What?
Eastern nature medicine.
Oh my gosh.
I think you can do that without a degree these days.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like if you're a real doctor, you obviously have to have a degree. But
but you can be
if
like
you're like, I'm a kombucha doctor, I think you can get away with it starting an LLC in your apartment.
Yeah. So starting in college, I went for a semester and a half and then got hit by a semi-truck. True story. I was in a car. For some reason, people wonder like, oh, were you in a car? Yes. Where would anybody be like near a semi-truck that's not like in a car?
Vision that I have when I hear you say that as a person who would be trying to put myself in the shoes of another who doesn't know you. I already know the story, you see, because I was there. I actually showed up on scene later than my parents did because
you were asleep.
I
didn't want to wake James up.
You didn't wake. Anyway, so I ended up being there, and I knew that you did not actually physically, your body didn't get hit by a semi-truck. But when you say that, I picture you flying through the air doing somersaults because you got hit by a semi-truck.
Yeah. So I got hit by a semi-truck.
Like if somebody says to you, I got hit by a car, what image does that incite?
Okay, I guess. They actually got physically hit by a car, which don't be running around in highways. Story on the semi-truck later on, because I think that'd be fun to talk about. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I ended up dropping out of college. Before college, grade school was amazing. Well, that's not true. Elementary school, I got in so much trouble all the time because I was very strong-willed and a little brat. But the principal always loved me. Here is a freaking life hack. be charming. Be so charming.
Mm-hmm.
You can get away with a lot. You can
really
upgrade if you're nice to people.
Charming people do great and terrible things in life.
Yeah, Joseph Stalin.
Exactly.
So if you're charming and you're nice and you're likable, like you can get upgrades and airports, and you just,
if you're good at sounding like you know what you're talking about too.
Yeah. So just be a charming
most
person.
of how I've achieved things in life. Like whenever I send an email out, I just act like I know what I'm talking about, and it tends to work.
9 times out of 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was charming, so I never got kicked out of school. Middle school was absolutely miserable. I actually ended up being homeschooled for half of 8th grade because my mom was just tired of coming to the school all the time. And I used, like, hindsight is 2020. I used to manipulate my way out of a school that I didn't like.
I just realized you're the reverse of me, because my mom put me in school because she couldn't teach me anymore.
Yeah.
Because I think the math got too complicated.
My mom was like, I can discipline her better than the teachers.
Yeah.
So,
so your mom pulled you out. My mom put me in.
Yeah. Whenever I didn't like, so
It was a cold, dark day.
I went to a couple different schools, not because of behavioral issues. Well, kind of. Let me justify. So
she went to juvie.
When I was, let's see, kindergarten, like that was fun. My brother was bad too, and the principal knew him. So like I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna hang out at the principal's office. And then I switched schools from the Montessori school to like a regular school, and it was in a district different than my friends, and I wanted to go to the school that my friends were going to. So I was just so bad, and I would get into so much trouble until my mom just was like, you know what, go to the school you want to go to. And I excelled.
That's always been an interesting function of your brain, by the way, where you're like, I can get what I want by playing the long game and like making
everyone's life miserable.
Making everyone's life miserable. But the same thing happens in the positive. Like for me, I would go, man, that just sounds like a lot of work, and I'm kind of stuck here. For you,
I was like, I'm getting out of here.
You're like, let me figure out how I can, like, over the next 3 months, create a master plan for success in my life.
Yeah, I don't think I thought of it
that way. You don't limit your
way.
brain, and I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think I thought of it that way, but it was executed. So middle school, basically same situation happened. We moved to South Carolina. Everyone was mean to me because, like, middle school is absolutely the worst. James was actually, high five, my first friend in South Carolina. And now I'm married to him because he made me. Just kidding. But
yep. It's a contract.
Yep.
So, I actually made her hand draw her signature. So
I halfway.
Now she likes me. I think. You like me? No.
Halfway through 8th grade, my mom ended up doing the same thing. I was like, okay, I'll homeschool you. And I was so stoked because James was homeschooled and James was my friend. And I liked hanging out with James.
This is about when I entered your life, I feel like.
This is when we started making videos together.
Yeah.
In 8th grade.
Right, because you would be at the church and then I would be at the church. And then it was like...
already.
Yeah, and then we made I only remember one video with you, and that was the one we filmed in, like... We just ran around the church. I have no idea what it was about.
I don't know where it is.
I don't know where it is, but I tried to make a video with you because you're becoming my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you were homeschooled?
I was homeschooled.
Okay.
And then I went to high school, and that was the bomb because it was just social city. And social city.
And I will say at that point with you, what I found to be so wonderful about you was you were not... like so many other girls, you weren't into things you weren't into the drama of things, and you were like laid back. I felt like you had a reasonable, like you weren't insane.
I just didn't have the patience for anyone.
You just seemed like
age.
a cool person.
And thank you.
You were down to earth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. One of the things that I didn't know what was going on in my little...
When we live on Mars, are we going to say that people are down to Mars?
I don't know. Maybe we're up to Mars?
We're down. No, because like if you live on Mars and you're laid back, like, man, you're really down to Mars.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Okay.
We'll know
One
when
of
the
the
time
things-
comes.
I was going to say something sweet and then I forgot it.
Oh,
I guess
dang
it
it.
wasn't that important. What was it? Oh, yeah. I didn't know what was going on in my little teenage hormones, or no, preteen hormones, but James had long hair. James had long hair probably most of the time that I've known him.
Yeah.
Definitely most of the
Yeah,
time
oh,
that
yeah,
I've known
yeah.
you. And all of the girls on the ski trip would straighten James's hair, and I was like, I freaking hate those little girls.
But I don't know why, because
But
I don't like him.
And I remember I sent you like a message on MySpace or something. I was like, hey, James, I think I like you, but I don't think
That
you're
was another
cute.
thing that when we look back, you always seem to
I
get caught up in is, one, you, like I said, you had the open-minded, like, mischievousness, but two, you, looking back, there were things that your brain made you do that you didn't maybe realize why you were doing them at the time.
What do you mean?
Like you would send me messages.
I was an initiator, okay?
And
I would make moves happen.
And you would basically say, looking back, I realized I did it because of this. But when it was in that time, I was just kind of following what my mind was telling me I needed to do.
It was like New Year's Rockin' Eve, and the Jonas Brothers were hosting. The Jonas Brothers and Miley Cyrus were playing.
Yeah.
And my mom slept.
I'd do anything for that opportunity to be in my life.
That's when I created that MySpace account. I had the MySpace account for like 4 days until my mom found out and I had to delete it. But anyway, I was like, James, I think I like you, but I don't think you're cute. So we'll see where this goes. Anyway, what was it? Okay, school.
Yeah, school. So
High school.
you were homeschooled. You went back to school in high school, correct?
Yeah, high school was the socialist time. Socialist? Sort of, yeah. Was the most like fun social time ever. I was so active. Whoa, I just burped and it was like a...
Oh.
Anyway, and then...
Speaking of burps, I'm ready for dinner.
What do we have for dinner?
6 o'clock.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Any hoozles. I went to college, ended up dropping out. This has taken way too long.
No, okay, so you went to college. Let's slow it down there. We're going to hit the yellow button, that yellow light on that one. You went to college.
I did.
And you were going there for a biology degree because you were trying to go the best route you knew how to so that you could help Haiti.
Yes.
At the time,
And,
because
like, water purification.
she is
and
half
stuff.
Haitian.
Hey.
We've been to Haiti a couple of times. We'll
Sac
talk
passe.
more about that
Soon?
in another episode, because there's plenty of stories that
Guys,
we can focus on
This is just
there.
episode 1.
Like the time you got
I had
surgery
in
without
Haiti.
anesthetic in your arm. That's a fun one.
So hardcore.
But you loved Haiti. You love Haiti. And at that time, you were focused on giving clean water to Haiti.
Yes.
Because they had and have a big cholera issue. Although I haven't heard too much about that recently. Has it gotten better?
They've got other issues going on right now. I think the entire country is rioting. It's kind of...
Yeah, they got like civil unrest at the moment, right?
they're everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the government's never been stellar in Haiti. But anyway, you went after a biology degree because you're like, I'm going to make a reverse osmosis filter and give all the country, everybody in the country clean water.
Remember
it's going to
before
rain
that?
from the sky. They're going to catch it in a bucket.
Remember before that, I went to Girls State because I was
Yes.
thinking that I was going to be in like political science. I was doing like political
Is that why
science
you
and
went?
biology.
Oh.
Yeah, because it would look good on freaking... Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to
okay.
rant for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Hopefully that's okay.
Girls' State was a nightmare for Christina.
That was a mess. And you can talk about the quitting part, but I'm going to talk about why I did it. I did this thing called Girls State because it would look good on college applications and you'd get scholarships. But what they don't tell you is only certain colleges give you those scholarships. So the college that I ended up going to didn't even give me any freaking scholarship money for that miserable week that I was like
What
hanging around
monsters?
a bunch of prissy girls in skirts and stuff. Like it was, oh God, the worst.
Yeah.
was so-
There was one
Ugh.
particular girl that you
I'm not gonna
that you
say
would
her
always
name.
I know you're not gonna say her name. You would always talk about her. You were like,
She
she's
talks like
so
this. Hi.
She's
I
so
can't
over
say
the
her
top.
name. Let's say pretend name.
But this was at the time where as
Hi, I'm Sally Joe. Let's be best friends. She literally said that to me, and I was like, "Kill me. I'm gonna die." They were
and
like,
at this time we were a couple of millennials who had just gotten into a relationship and we had phones. So we texted each other
All the time.
everything that ever happened. So she would send me, basically if anything happened, she's sending me live updates
Yeah.
like they do at the Apple events, like live bloggers. She would send me live updates of what was happening. And we learned that we shouldn't text all the time, but luckily we live together, and I found that whenever we actually exist together,
that you and I like right now don't text each other.
like we don't really. I mean, we
text each
but
other links that
it's
we
like
need.
updates about life. Like, I'm at the grocery store. Do you need a thing?
Yeah,
But anyway, life got much easier when we didn't have to text each other, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But you would text me about her, and then of course you texted me about wanting to like everything was
Leave.
terrible. You wanted to leave, and I was like, just quit. And then you said, I'm not going to quit what I started.
Yep.
And you basically,
Dang
I'm not a
Skippy.
quitter. And I said, I quit things all the time when they're stupid.
And I was like, screw you.
But I think we both,
you know
I
what?
think we both
I
had
have-
a point in that situation.
And I have more grit than James. I am more determined than James. And I'm more disciplined than James because I'm not a giver-upper.
Well, and see, that's the thing we've been having other discussions about. And that'll be
You
another
didn't-
episode as well.
You didn't get my joke. That was a joke.
What?
I'm not serious. I'm better than James.
Oh, I didn't.
Where's
no.
my laugh track?
I
You weren't listening. That's what was happening. You
No,
were
I
ready-
assumed that was a joke.
Well, laugh.
That
so
you thought that you thought that you were better than
Anyway.
me, even though you do. But
Meh.
yeah, and so you end up staying the whole time. I'm very proud of you for that. You endured, and that's awesome.
What
There's
did
a
I learn
time to
from
not
it?
quit, for
absolutely
sure.
nothing.
Huh?
What did I learn from it?
Yeah,
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely not.
I learned
So-
we are the future builders, builders in a van, and we come from Girls State, the best state in the land. Ha ha ha! We are up and coming, progressive, wise and strong,
Oh.
and to our dear Girls State, we proudly sing our song. I wish that I went to Boys State because they looked like they were having fun. I was just in a skirt. You couldn't wear like pants.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I could rant for
But
hours.
at Boys State, could you wear a skirt? See?
And then we went to the state capitol and marched because we're political science people, and I was like, can I just go home? And then all the girls would switch their shirts because you have an extra shirt at Girls State.
I picture the people from Harry Potter with the Hershey Kisses hats. They were like the French girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I forget what they were from another wizarding
Yeah,
school.
I think they were Italian or French.
Were they Italian?
They were either French or Italian.
Their hats were pretty neat.
Yeah, but it was it was just so bad. And then
Yeah. Okay,
This
so
isn't-
we cut you. You finished Girls State. You made it through that horrible tyranny, and then
nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning.
Carolina.
No one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning.
so you
we
pursued a
sang
biology.
so many songs.
Hey, I don't care at this point. You pursued biology,
Mm-hmm.
and we went through this really stressful time of trying to figure out what you need to do. Because you're in college, it's a very locked in experience. It's like, okay, I'm like in here now, right?
Yeah.
We adapt to our surroundings, and it's like it would be more comfortable to stay there because that's what you're used to at that point, right? It would be harder for you.
No.
It would be hard. It would have been harder for you to meet up with all the people and say, "Hey, I'm quitting."
Well, that's why I got
And
hit
everybody
by
was
a
like,
semi-truck.
you have so much potential, and you have to have the meetings with
That was the most offensive thing.
with
oh,
the
but you
dean.
had so much potential. It's like,
when are you going back?
I know. I still get that question from my grandma. She's like, so,
So you were on what?
I'm going to do my mouth.
Okay,
I don't know if I should do the accent. I don't know if they're ready for it.
go ahead.
No, I don't
Go.
know. Okay. I don't know. Now I'm nervous. Anyway,
Her grandmother is fully Haitian.
yeah. She'd go, oh, Christina, when are you going back to college? And I would say,
Nailed it.
Mamel, it's been 4 years. I'm not going back. Oh, you can just go back. No, I'm not going. She's like, maybe. Leave me alone. I'm not going to college.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
Because coming from Haiti,
Just to get the degree, why not?
as opposed to coming, or the same as coming from a lot of different societies. If you're immigrating to America, education is huge.
That's your way out. That's why they came here. They came here to put for their grandchildren to go to college, and I totally screwed that up.
Right.
And I was like, well,
the problem is that the internet came in.
Yeah.
It activated, and I think that a lot of people are from older generations don't understand what it is and what it's about and how it's
so how do you make money again?
Right. And that's another thing is like, yeah, we make YouTube videos.
We're creative. It's an ambiguous title.
Yeah, we create YouTube videos.
How do you make money?
Well, we work with other people who create YouTube videos.
Do you know them?
No. Yes.
Well, have you met them?
Yeah, we've met them, but they like live across the country.
Okay, so how well do you know them?
So, yeah. That was another thing is back in the day,
catfishing.
If you were like doing chat rooms with whoever, like that was crazy sketchy.
My sister used to
your parents.
My sister used to do a chat room in with this guy. I forget his name. Probably shouldn't say it anyway. From Ireland. Yeah.
Wait,
he was really nice. He was from Ireland.
Wait, hold on. I missed the first part of that. He's a prince of Ireland, and
he's not a prince of
Ireland.
Scammer. He's just a regular person. He was really nice.
He met. She met. Who met what?
Nobody. Like, we didn't meet anybody in real life. We were just like, AI.
Who met who? Who's we? Who are we talking about?
Anyway, just carry on.
I have zero context.
Well,
all I know is there's a guy from Ireland.
You don't know this story.
Okay.
My sister would know.
You have another husband in Ireland. That's what I'm taking away from
Basically.
that. Okay, so
I was 12.
Where were we? The
internet came up.
The internet came up, and yeah, we can get more into that in a second. But finishing up your story in terms of college, you finally decided you were going to drop out. Mm-hmm. And
talk about the drama in the household.
And that created so much drama on your side of the family.
Oh yeah.
My side of the family has always been sort of about do what makes you happy and dedicate yourself to it, and it's going to work out. Mm-hmm. You have to, of course, do something that's going to make you money. Mm-hmm. Like, you do need a job. Like, you do need to make sure, like, don't just go and paint watercolors.
You have to have a plan.
And not leave your house, be in your pajamas, whatever. That's not going to do anything for you financially. You do need to figure out how to actually make a business out of it. But my parents always trusted that I would sort that stuff out. Mm-hmm. So yes, drama. But going through that for you was intense. Mm-hmm. And there was a huge fallout, and
my entire life flipped upside down.
Yeah. And
nuclear fallout.
And I think we went through that. Us going through that together was an amazing thing. I think we learned a lot from that.
I'm sure we did.
I hope that I was able to be supportive and not too pushy in that.
Nobody really pushes me to do anything.
Well, that too, but the reason I say that is because that was always my goal, is to not push you in any direction, but to allow you to make that decision on your own.
Well, you should have known from Girl State that, like,
be honest with you.
My mind.
Yeah, be honest with you, but also be supportive and allow you to go through that process on your own. Mm-hmm. Not do that process for you, even though, there were times where I was like I felt like I knew what I wanted you to do, mm-hmm. but I couldn't tell you that. That wasn't my job. Cliffhanger, because we're about to run out of time on our camera before it explodes. So we're going to give that camera just a little tiny break, and then we'll be right back for the second half of this podcast.
Enjoy a message from ourselves.
Interlude.
If you are listening to the sound of my voice at the moment, you have successfully made it to the halfway mark of our podcast, and I wanted to first off say thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to James and I ramble today about college. It's been a fun experience. What? It's been a fun experiment for us to embark on. But if you are enjoying it, do me a solid. If you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, we're working on getting all the other podcast platforms set up. But if you're listening to this specifically on Apple Podcast, do me a solid and leave a review. I'd be interested to know what you have to say, some of your feedback on what we're talking about, and some of the things that you'd like to hear, because I think that'd be fun to learn about. So, with all of that said, again, thank you, and on with the podcast.
What an inspirational message. Christina.
Yes.
Let's move on to the next part.
What's the next part, James?
I don't know. What was the cliffhanger I left them on?
Oh, we should have remembered that.
You left college, and now everything was like just perfect. It's great. And
sure.
Immediately you made $40 million a year.
Yeah.
On your, what was it? You were selling garbanzo beans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
one can at a time, guys.
Here we are now, and you were just like, man, I'm just going to sell this company, and I'm going to go back because everything's going so good. I got to have some friction in my life, and now we're here.
Yeah,
so
great.
Yeah. So I'll quickly tell my story of...
He says quickly because school was summarized in one thought.
Yeah.
One word to describe school. Go. This is an audio first podcast. It's very silent.
Of time.
That's I would say one word to describe school.
Terrible.
Not for me.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was
social.
Yeah.
Social.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for coming up with the word for me. For you, I would say miserable.
And I say that first off, I must preface this by saying that, or suffice.
He didn't go to school, so
I must suffice this by saying that I was homeschooled.
Which
basically
explains all of his
all
problems.
my school career life. I was homeschooled. My mom was my teacher, and she did a wonderful, wonderful job. So I must say that first. I think she understands that, and she's probably watching this.
Or listening, because this is a podcast.
Or listening. She probably understands why I said it was so terrible. I don't think she's offended by that. She gets, because she knows that part of me so well, which is such a beautiful thing. When I said terrible, my hope is that she did not make that about her at all.
It's fun.
Because she did such an amazing, thank you, Mom. Like, you did such a great job, and thank you for like just being patient with me when I didn't want to do. All of school was just me never wanting to do anything that I had to do.
I like being able to go, you know what, Teresa? I blame his teachers. She goes, hey.
I had the best teacher on the planet. I really did.
And she didn't even go to college.
And then, like, even my dad would come around and help sometimes, and he did a wonderful job too, but he would try to explain math to me, and I was like, oh, God. Oh, kill me. So school, to me, was very... If you guys watch Gary Vaynerchuk, I resonate tremendously with the way he sort of experienced school, because he always said that he was reading... He started a wine... He took on a wine company that his dad built, so he was always reading like the Wine Spectator or something while he was in school, and things like that. He was focusing on his baseball card business.
What your grades would have, like, you were never in school long enough to have like proper grades.
It would have been like, hectic. The problem is I would have tried really hard to do well, and I think I actually would have done decently, but it would have taken so much out of me.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I would have done pretty good.
Okay.
But it's because I'm so, like, when I take a survey, you know how meticulous I get.
Yeah.
The problem is that
this
is the way I work with school and things like school. I do a good job, but I do it so much slower than everybody around me.
Yeah, standardized testing would have kicked your butt.
Right. And
because you question a lot of things.
Right. I know, and what's hard is I could try to be faster as I'm taking a test about something, and I would still be slower, and that was very frustrating.
I bet you'd have
I think
less...
it's that my mind is at like a lower gear.
I think
it's like
my mind.
No, it's.
I bet you would have had a little bit of confidence issues, like, because he's very confident to an obnoxious point sometimes, but especially when he knows he's right. Oh my gosh! But I think that your confidence levels would have been challenged.
Okay, I'll address that in a second. First off, I said lower gear. I'm gonna preface. I want to suffice that.
Stop using words,
I
James.
wanna-
Just say things.
I want to say that when I say lower gear, I mean that I'm a very thoughtful person, and I believe I'm very smart in a lot of different areas because I love to learn about things and I love to study things. But I learn about them slowly and thoughtfully. Whereas in school, it's kind of like read the thing and you have a test by the end of the day. Like it's very much read this stuff, get all of this information in your brain. Look at all of this black text on a lovely white page. You can read all of that and learn so much right now. And it had to happen quickly.
You like to comprehend.
I like to comprehend. I like to understand why things are the way they are.
You sure do.
Yeah, I sure do. My mom knows that as well. I ask everything about everything, and that's how I learn.
Dude, if our kids are anything like you, like, I'm going to give them away.
But your confidence issues. I think that I would have struggled hitting school and going through some of the kids being mean and me, I did struggle with that to some extent. I do believe, however, that my upbringing with my mom,
I think you have the confidence that you do because of your mom.
Yeah,
She just told you were good at things.
yeah, and my dad too. But
No,
yeah,
he
my
told
mom,
you were bad
my
at
mom
things.
constantly, like in any given conversation, she pumped me up. Like
Yeah.
she was very much like, you're gonna figure this out, right? She wasn't unrealistic. She was like, you're gonna figure this out.
You probably won't figure it out quickly, but you'll figure it out.
And that's another thing that's similar to me and Gary Vaynerchuk is that his
You
mom
guys-
did the same thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like his mom just pounded into him
Which,
confidence.
no freaking pressure for me as a mom. Like, I feel like I'm going to be the voice of reason, and I'm going to suck the life out of our children. So I have to be encouraging and just boost egos.
Yeah, no,
all the little egos.
You'll be the
running around.
practicality and I'll be the optimism.
Yeah.
So I think that I would have prevailed because I would have found that within me. I would have found that foundation within me. I would have pulled from that foundation to stay confident. And also like faith plays a huge role in my confidence as well. But anyway, moving on from confidence, school was a nightmare the entire time. I say always, whenever I'm thinking about school and talking about school with people, that there's almost nothing I pulled from school after 4th or 5th grade that I use today.
You're a really good writer.
I'm a great writer.
Other than that, nothing.
But I feel like all of that came from my enjoyment of writing. And to be clear, I'm not a good writer. I'm moving my hand in a writing motion. I'm a terrible writer. I'm a good typer.
Yeah.
I'm good at crafting stories.
You actually wrote, and I'll link it below as well. You wrote the foreword to my autobiography. I'm just kidding. I don't read books, so why would I ever write one?
Christina is a saint. She often spent time with frog people in the weekends, and that's how she learned how to be so froggy all the time.
James wrote the Medium post to our apartment tour. So if you don't like watching videos,
and I have a couple of other posts on there too.
I'm not talking about that one.
Yeah, but I am. So
you can leave.
So
you hated school. You learned nothing.
I learned, yeah. And so
what's 4 plus 7?
The best day,
4 plus 7, go.
4.
There's steam.
11.
Yeah.
So one of the greatest days of my life was
7 plus 4.
Or the greatest progression of days. 12. The greatest progression of days in my life was when I was realizing high school is almost over and I'll never have to do this school thing again.
For someone who hated school,
Sweet honey.
Okay, 2 thoughts on that.
Okay.
For someone who hated school, he actually finished a year early because he hated it so much.
That was one good thing about homeschooling is you could kind of figure out how to sort of game the system so that you didn't have to do what all the people, my friends, were having to do.
Second thought on school.
Like I never took any like crazy advanced math. Like I bypassed all of that. Thank God.
Yeah. Second thought on school. You said like, I'll never have to do this again. There's like a nostalgia like, I'm never going to be in 11th grade again. But Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I came out of school and then I just had a lot more time to do the stuff I wanted to do. And
that's why you actually...
that's another thing. I always say this is that the reason I'm good at everything I'm good at today is because I was homeschooled and I had a lot of free time around school, because school was just get your subjects done today. And each subject I could do in 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So it's get the subjects done, and then the rest of the day you're free.
You're an amazing drummer. He's such a good drummer. We obviously can't have a drum set. Maybe we should talk to the people above us about drum sets. Man, the shade. And then you're also very good at
tossing that shade on those haters.
You're very good at obviously editing and creative stuff and filmmaking and photos, and it's just because you had so much time on your hands.
I was a very obsessively curious person, as I am now, as I've always been. And
that would have been a good name for this podcast.
Obsessively curious, curiously obsessive. And that's why I believe in the power of obsession and curiosity. But I was always interested in just noodling with things like After Effects and figuring out how to make a head explode. And, I was interested in documentaries and how they made those and how to tell those stories. And I had a lot of time just to play around and edit in Windows Movie Maker and, design stuff, just dabble, just a bunch of dabbling. And that set my foundation. I have never been somebody to take a lesson. I always sit down with something in front of me, the laptop or the drums, and just kind of hit stuff and poke things and pull levers and see what happens. That's how I learned everything I've ever learned.
So what would you say to someone who is in the process of
the trenches of school?
Not in the trenches of school. Okay, what do I do next?
You just got out of school.
You're almost out.
I
have to make a decision that affects me for the next 4 years of my life.
About college.
What do you say? If I can't answer the question that I just asked. Okay, what do you say? Ready, set, go.
I would say that you should take a step back and really think about what you want to do, and if you know what you want to do or not. You probably don't, would be my guess. If you're 17 or so, right? That's right around the age. Okay, so if you're 17 or so, you're probably not quite sure what you want to do. There are some people who are just they know from the start. They know exactly what they want to be up to, but a lot of people that's not the case. I'd say regardless, really think about what you want to do, and then really think about if you need college to get to that thing, and if you need college to help you achieve your goals, and would it actually expedite that process or be helpful in that process in any way. And also, a lot of people will be telling you that you need to have a safety net in life.
Why would you start to one thing Sarah has said, Sarah Dici, to be clear, she said when she was in the middle of that process of deciding whether she should stay in college or not, she was living for her plan B. That's why she was going to school. It was basically to live for your plan B. What kind of mess is that? Who came up with that? I would much rather be unsafe and be actually enjoying my life than safety netted
The
up.
question is your plan B, would it make you happy if you had to fall back on it? And is it better for you to not have that plan B to fall back on and figure out along the way what your plan A is and trust that it's going to work out? I think you should
very
always
hard to do, though.
I think you should always be pursuing your plan A. Now, you have to make money.
Yes.
Right? So, while you're pursuing your plan A, align with plan A as much as possible in the jobs that you're doing and the things that you're doing that make you money. Try your best to align with that as closely as possible.
I don't know if I completely agree with that.
Okay, what do you not agree with that?
So if you were to follow your own advice, instead of working at Starbucks, you would have gotten a job at a production company.
Right. That's why I say as close as possible, because sometimes you can't get right on the mark. A production company made sense on paper to be the thing that I would have done.
Gosh, you would have made so much money when we were first married.
Right. Like financially, that would have been a really good decision to stay at that production company.
Fun fact, that James's first job was at a production company that has, like, at this point won Emmys. And you would have been, because I feel like that was the beginning-ish stages of that production company. That wasn't like
They're smaller. They've been around for a while, but they were smaller
compared to where they are now.
Yeah, they've really
could have.
leaps and
James
strides.
could have won, like, how many Emmys do they have? Like 3, I think. James could have won 3 Emmys at this point if he was part of the team with his, like, one of his best friends.
Nothing like being depressed with an Emmy.
Sign me up. Do you get anything with an Emmy, or is it?
I don't think so. I think you just get like a
There's-
little thing.
There's like Emmys.
Put on your.
There's Emmys and Addies, and they've gotten.
They
both.
did one. Yeah.
I
don't know how it works.
You
for
could have
them.
gone to like Kenya.
Like for production companies and stuff.
You could have traveled with
Yeah,
them.
there was a lot of cool stuff, but
You should have totally stayed at that production company.
on paper made so much sense for me to stay there, right? But
I wouldn't have had to pay for as many date nights when we were like 17.
Yeah, being there was very tough for me, and what I decided to do instead was to take smaller jobs that were less of an impact on my life. Like, they didn't take up so much of my time. I could make it a smaller time block of my life. So I could build my thing on the side. That was always the goal. Now, that was I never achieved a perfect balance of that art. Do I have something on my face? You were like...
No.
Point.
Oh, I was just scratching my
Oh,
lip.
okay.
So let me ask you another question. What would your advice be to people who are in the position that you were in? You 16, 17-year-old son of a gun that just like quit a production company house and all of that.
Yeah.
All you do is play drums and walk around barefoot.
Yeah. I would say that if you're in your parents' house, great, because you have a lot of time to sort out stuff. But at the same time, if you're 16, you're in that zone. You're in a really interesting zone, because
The danger zone.
You're in the danger zone because you need to very soon start getting serious about making money for yourself, because 2 years is going to go by like that, and then you're going to be in a place where your parents are going to be like, hey, so
Can you leave? What if your parents just knocked on your door, like woke you up, and then were like, hey, can you leave?
You
now?
gotta, yeah, right.
Yeah. It's we put this in our calendar, our
right,
iCal.
right. Today's your day to
leave.
leave now.
Why didn't
We
you
love
guys?
you.
Why didn't you guys let me know? Yeah, we didn't have like alert. So
Yeah, this is
But yeah,
called the
you-
natural selection process. You kind of should have had your crap figured out by now, little Bobby.
You definitely have to go.
So if you're 16, you're in a nice position because you still have time to be on your parents' phone plan, and they're paying for your gas if they're really nice. But you need to be getting going towards something. Now, what I would say is, if, for example, you want to be a YouTube creator, get really serious about starting to structure yourself and make videos that you care about, so that you have a head start on so many people. Because I was interested in a lot of stuff, but I was lollygagging. I wasn't structuring my time towards
Maybe you would
success.
have had that structure if you would have went to normal school.
Right, and there's absolutely value to that, right? But that's good, right? Now, if you're 18 and you're still in your parents' house, but your parents are trying to like get you out pretty quick, or you have an apartment with like 3 of your friends or something like that, then you need to find some sort of financial sustenance that gets you as happy as possible. Where you're staying in a healthy place on a daily basis. And this is harder for some people and easier for other people, right? If you do that, you will be able to stay in a good place to have the energy to work on your own stuff and build that up and be patient.
I think that even goes for people that are in our position, that are our age, because we're talking to like the stage right behind us, because we've obviously experienced that. But oops, sorry, I hit the mic with my watch.
Heavens.
Ooh, audio. I feel like that can go for anyone. Like, now is the time to do whatever it is you thought about doing or that you kind of wanted to do.
Right.
Because for us right now is the time to be where we are right now and to scale that, because eventually we're going to start a family. And, you know, when your kids are small, then is the time to, like, we spoke about traveling.
You always need to be looking for the next season of your life. You need to be preparing.
You need to be looking for the next season, and then, like you said, preparing for that season in the season that you're in right now. Like right now, we're preparing to make ourselves, I guess, financially independent from anything. Like it's all about us. It's not all about, like, it's all up to us, which it kind of is right now, but eventually we're going to have kids and they're going to be depending on us, and we still want to live, you know, a travel adventurous.
With freedom and liberty.
Yeah. So always be pursuing what is 3 years from now, but in little ways.
So to
like
finish
right now.
My thought though,
sorry.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure
I just had a valuable thought. God forbid.
I wanted to make sure that I finished that up and wrapped it up and put a nice bow on it.
Do it.
Before we move to the next thought, which was that you could sort of look like, you could sort of look at going after that job as your plan B, but your plan B should always be in support of your plan A, because plan B, this is the issue. A lot of people think, I'm going to build that plan B just in case this plan A doesn't like work out, the industry doesn't work or something, like I can't figure out how to make it happen. And you're going to spend a bunch of time doing your plan B because your plan A didn't work. You tried your risky thing and you know, the stars didn't align or something of this sort. The plan B will not make you happy.
Yeah.
Unless
it's not
you
designed
realize
to make you happy.
Unless you realize that plan B actually was your plan A. I doubt it, because normally your plan B is going to be like the safe. If you go to school and you become a lawyer, right? There's a small chance that you might become a lawyer and go, wow, this should be my plan A. Like, I really, you know.
Yeah, sure.
But more times than not, your plan B was based not around your thriving.
It's about what everyone else was kind of telling you.
All of the ways it was based around your thriving financially. And so you did the safe thing that doesn't actually fulfill you. So your plan B doesn't make you happy, and then you spend 50 years of your life doing your plan B, and then you die. And I'm not into that.
Yay.
Right.
Thank you for watching.
I'm not into that game plan. I think you should always pursue your plan A, have a plan B to take care of you temporarily, and that your goal should be to make that plan B be as close to plan A as humanly possible. And if you need to make less money on that plan B and be very patient until your plan A can get you to where you want to be, then you can succeed at your plan A by being patient, by allowing your plan B to support you.
Yeah.
Now, with that said,
there's another with that said.
Should one go to college if they are a creator and they know what they want to do, or maybe they have some vague idea of what they want to do in the creative realm?
Let me guess your answer.
Should they go to college?
No.
And my answer is not no. It's more nuanced than that. But like for a lot of people, I think what is happening is that they want to go into like marketing, like social media marketing, let's say. That's very popular thing, right? If you are a filmmaker up and coming and you want to go into social media marketing, you are told by a lot of people that you should go to school and learn about that.
Oh my gosh.
You should get a business degree.
Dude, you could
learn how to run a business.
Let me introduce you to the internet.
Right. And that's your way to figure out this whole social media marketing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue that is probably a really good way to waste
4 years,
$200,000.
Like, imagine
it's a really expensive way to experiment.
You have hands-on experience, or you have a hands-on opportunity right now, like with your phones.
Right. You can find all the learning you need. You can find all the inspiration you need. You can find everything you need to run a business as a social media marketer outside of college. Mm-hmm. Now, can you learn those things in college to some degree? Sure.
But you also have to learn underwater basket weaving.
Well, you also have to learn how to get a really high-paying job so you can pay off all those student loans.
Yeah.
It's a really high-risk, silly way, in my opinion, to figure out what you want to do. If you're going to college and you're not absolutely sure why you're going to college, I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, but shout out to doctors, because I don't think there's a Skillshare class to teach you how to replace a liver.
That's what I was going to say. Who should go to college? And I would say, doctors, engineers, people who build things that I have to know don't fall on my head.
Our accountant. I don't know. I'm sure that you can get like online courses in accounting or something.
You could probably do okay.
But
that's like riding the boundary, right?
Yeah. But shout out to him, because he schooled us, and he's a really nice guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're going to operate on my liver, I would like for you to have a degree that says that you have learned the things necessary to operate on my liver, deemed by a medical board that has a vast collection of knowledge.
Even then, it's medical practice, so you're just a specimen that they're playing around with.
Specimen.
Yeah.
That's a funny word, by the way. Mm-hmm. Specimen. So
I had thoughts, but it would just be repeating what you said.
Okay. Well, I mean, anything you want to add? We have 3 minutes. We could go into another interlude, or we could wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that we've kind of beat that horse to death. Mm-hmm. If you're somebody who's in the middle of making the decision to go to college, if you can't pay for it right off the bat, don't go. Dead serious, don't go. Get a job at Chipotle. Number 1, you get free Chipotle. Number 2, you make money, and then save up for it or pay your way, because what you're doing,
you're going to put yourself in a prison of debt.
Yeah, and that debt doesn't go away. And thankfully, when I went to college, I actually made money. Mm-hmm. I had overages because I chose biology, because, Black female, they want that in their, system. Mm-hmm. But anyway, just don't
as an adult, as a creative adult, trying to do this thing, we're trying, we're freelancing. Imagine,
I
could not imagine having $50,000 of something
that would be the
sitting
worst
on our shoulders that we have to get rid of just to be in the positive.
Yeah. So
oh my gosh,
thankfully,
that would be a nightmare.
We dodged that bullet.
And I know a lot of people out there are struggling with that, and I feel for you guys.
Yeah, I don't want it to be I
want you to kick that debt in the face. That's your mode right now. But I'm so happy that we don't have to face that.
Yeah. Anywho, I think this is a good place to wrap it up.
Very good.
I think that college is necessary for some and not necessary for a lot. Mm-hmm. But that's all I had to say about it.
And just stop and think about it. Just be very intentional. Don't follow just your parents and society. Look inside yourself, be introspective, and think about what it means for you to maybe go after that or not, and what your needs are, and what your plan A really is, and how you can hopefully get to that plan A and be a happy individual and productive individual in life.
I want to reiterate the giveaway. Yes. We're giving away light bulbs, and I mean, it'll save you $200. You get four really nice smart light bulbs. But and of course, links to everything will be in the show notes or the description. But guys, thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast of, is school actually really necessary? Should you drop out and all of that stuff? The answer is for you to find out. Well, I don't know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Or listening. Dang it. Goodbye.